you for being in time for our roundtable entitled Human Potential Beyond Ordinary Capabilities. Before we start, I would like to underline once again that we have simultaneous translation from Russian into English and English into Russian. And you can choose the language in the software. Our roundtable today is, the idea of the roundtable was based on the necessity to cope with the increasingly rapid change dynamics that we have witnessed in the past and in the current century. In order to cope with these changes, we are looking into the different modern studies of complexity science, which indeed may be referred to as order creation science, and is particularly relevant for understanding the complex adaptive systems and the soft complexity and the hard complexity that we're facing today. So we have a few outstanding speakers with us today, and we shall hear from them. But before going to the presentations, I would like to kindly welcome the academic supervisor of HEC University, Yaroslav Kuzminov, who will talk about frontier studies in human development. Yaroslav, please, the floor is yours.
Здравствуйте, коллеги. Слышно ли меня?
Да, слышно, хорошо.
Хорошо. Перевод работает тоже, да? Потому что я буду выступать по-русски. Надеюсь, что у нас есть синхронный перевод. Я приветствую всех участников. Рад вас видеть, коллеги из разных стран. Мы в 2019 году с Павлом и с Исааком Фромином написали статью про науки как компоненты человеческого капитала. Когда мы это писали, мы не предполагали объема вызовов, которые проявились за 5 лет, которые с тех пор прошли. И я говорю не о геополитическом напряжении. Я говорю о более фундаментальных процессах, которые явно останутся с нами надолго, пока не сменятся новыми. Мы стали очень быстро жить жизнь и проживать ее момент. Каждый большой вызов для человека в целом всегда в том, что он не знает, что ждет его завтра. Как в повседневных делах, так и в глобальных процессах. Это вызов для человеческого капитала. С одной стороны, хороший вызов, потому что изменения всегда подталкивают к развитию. С другой стороны, изменения, которые происходят с нами сегодня, больше способствуют нашему интеллектуальному расслаблению. Причина этому понятна. Это генеративные модели искусственного интеллекта, которые впервые стали аналогом собеседника, которые стали выполнять человеческие роли, пускай эти роли на сегодняшний день носят еще наполовину развлекательный характер. В 2019 году этого не было, но сегодня мы это ясно видим. Мы видим будущие направления, каким образом LLM-модели и альтернативные графовые модели будут осваивать человеческую деятельность. И как сейчас мы пытаемся прикинуть, какое будущее образования, какое будущее производительного применения человека нас ожидает. Мы скоро утеряем свою монополию в рутинах. В интеллектуальных рутинах совершенно точно. Мы будем совсем иначе получать знания. Библиотеки станут увлечением для гурманов, энциклопедии музейными экспонатами. Социальные практики, которые связаны с получением образования, переживут колоссальные изменения. И значит, источники формирования человеческого знания, человеческой культуры, объем базовых навыков станут совсем другими. Давайте порассуждаем, какие вызовы, выражаясь терминами нашей статьи 2019 года, неизбежны для нас и будут сильно увеличивать риски недокапитализации человеческого потенциала, недоиспользования того, что человек из себя представляет. Этих вызовов не так мало. В целом, для всего мира это отсутствие или очень сильное отставание системного воспитания, которое дается в разных странах школах, семьей, религиозными сообществами. Вот отставание этого системного воспитания от той реальной палитры ценностей и предпочтений, которые складываются вокруг ребенка. Второе – это дефицит навыков коллективной и проектной работы. Третье – это низкий уровень научения креативным компетенциям. Второе и третье мы отмечали и раньше. Но крах традиционного воспитания, на который делается сегодня ставка в целом ряде геополитических регионов, это традиционное воспитание, и на самом деле оно будет проваливаться с каждым годом все больше и больше, просто потому что будет расходиться с реальным окружением ребенка. Содержательный вызов внутри предметов – еще одна проблема. Распространение цифровых технологий и искусственного интеллекта делает неактуальными целые разделы школьного знания, которые из зарабатывающих в мире навыков и умений превращаются просто в ступеньки освоения программы. И школьник это замечает, теряет интерес к этому, он не чувствует подтверждения своим знаниям и необходимости своих знаний в практике окружающего мира. При этом актуальные направления науки, актуальные направления практик не находят должного отображения в школьных программах. Это, опять же, верно для всего мира. Третье. Решение искусственного интеллекта ставит вопросы ко многим профессиям. Грубо говоря, нынешние школьники уже не будут работать на таких работах, как работаем мы. А внутри профессий содержание трудовых функций будет очень сильно отличаться от привычных сегодня. С другой стороны, школьников в основном учат те учителя, которые не видят этого, которые не обладают возможностью освоить ни передовые решения искусственного интеллекта, не обладают достаточными навыками в том, чтобы выделять чисто креативные измерения профессии, за которые в будущем будут платить деньги. Эту ситуацию нужно исправлять повышением осознанности подхода к образованию родителей, чтобы их ребенок получал дополнительное образование наряду с фундаментальным. Потому что очевидно, что сама только школа в ближайшее время с этим не справится. Но тем не менее, развивая дополнительное образование, сейчас так идет во всем мире, нужно беречь школу. Нужно сделать так, чтобы школьник еще сильнее, чем сегодня, не отвлекался от основного образования. Мы не можем рисковать потерять школу. Школа – это единственный воспитательный и образовательный институт, который сегодня полностью прозрачен для общества на уровне графства в Соединенных Штатах, на уровне города в России, на уровне страны в любой стране, который полностью прозрачен для общества, который контролируется обществом, который общество может направлять. Если мы школу отбросим, если школа будет восприниматься как чисто формальный институт, мы просто потеряем любые рычаги воздействия на направление воспитания и образования. Поэтому нужно укреплять школу. Как это делать? Давайте думать. Еще одна проблема – это образовательная неуспешность школьников. Мы много внимания в последние годы ей уделяем. Давайте вспомним, что образовательная неуспешность идет от рутин процесса, в кавычках, проверки тетрадок и отсутствие прямой обратной связи для каждого ученика. Потеря интереса, потеря ощущения каждым учеником, что он важен. Такого рода проблема может быть в ближайшие 5 лет решена с помощью внедрения искусственного интеллекта в процессы формирования заданий, первичной оценки заданий, свода решений класса для учителя, выделения для него точек, которыми он должен персонально заняться. И это будет колоссальный позитивный прорыв в развитии школы. Надо всеми силами стараться использовать это. Но есть и специфические проблемы для России. До этого я говорил о общемировых проблемах, но проблемы для России, наверное, стоят того, чтобы мы их выделили. Это будет, я уверен, интересно и нашим зарубежным коллегам. Первая проблема, которую мы видим, это несовременное содержание STEM-предметов. Это математика, информатика, естественные науки. Отсутствие систематических, инструментальных, экономических правовых знаний, которые в России практически заменяются таким комплексным предметом обществознания, содержащимся в основном заголовки и лозунги. Чрезмерная унификация и отсутствие индивидуального подхода, относительно низкий престиж профессии учителя и ограниченное финансирование. Есть альтернативы в России. Это частные школы, независимые школы, дополнительное образование платное. Но это недоступно для большинства населения, потому что большинство населения России, 60%, это люди, которые живут устойчиво ниже, чем средний класс. У них нет лишних денег для того, чтобы инвестировать в образование своих детей. Они вынуждены полагаться только на то, что дает государство. И это вызов для социального расслоения общества. В России существует самая сильная в мире система отбора и выращивания талантов. Разные конкурсы, олимпиады, школы юных, но она зафиксирована только в секторе наука, искусство и спорт. Она не распространяется на 80% профессий, в том числе на все связанные со служением и исполнительством. Это приводит к тому, что исполнительские техники, серийное производство, массовое обслуживание в России очень сильно страдают. Общая проблема состоит в том, что колоссальное, непрерывное информационное давление на ученика ведет к распространению клипового мышления, росту уровня склонности к депрессивным состояниям, дефициту внимания, снижению способности сосредоточиться больше, чем на 15-20 минут, а у значительной группы учащихся больше, чем на 5 минут. Такого рода вызов пока школы и вообще все системы образовательных техник, технологий не преодолен. Различные игротехники, они остаются на уровне игры, а не обучения. Никто еще не решил проблему дать ядро современных знаний, необходимое ядро современных знаний, основываясь на том, что у изучающего ребенка или у половины детей, которые изучают курс, есть очень короткий период фокусировки, очень короткий период сознательного восприятия. Это вызов, и этим вызовом надо работать, мне кажется, не только образовательно. Вполне возможно, что это проблема для клинической или паллиативной медицины. Еще одна проблема, наверное, последняя проблема, это увеличение порога зрелости. Нынешние дети претендуют на то, чтобы дольше оставаться детьми. В этом связи школа теряет монополию на истину. Положения школьной программы начинают оспариваться как со стороны накопленных знаний родителей, так и со стороны сетевых авторитетов в сетях, в поиске, блогеров и так далее. Когда человек ощущает себя как ребенок, ощущает себя как недостаточно несущий ответственность, в том числе за свой выбор, в том числе за свое время, за то, чтобы его потенциал приносил доход его семье. Такого рода проблема, вот такого инфантилизма, который заходит в 20+, она затрагивает практически все страны, и кроме стран с исходно низкими доходами. И, наверное, нам имеет смысл тоже об этом говорить. Фундаментальная проблема школьного и университетского образования – это недообучение. Это отсутствие отслеживания момента, мы не схватываем момент, в котором человек чего-то не понял и начал имитировать знания, начал списывать, выкручиваться. В итоге выпускаются депривированные люди, которые неуспешны социально и в конечном счете неуспешны экономически. Это во многом порождено двумя причинами. При обучении большой аудитории половина выпадает в процессе обучения. Организация урока такова, что учитель работает с ядром класса, а периферия класса, она сталкивается в зону, где или дополнительные усилия семьи, или усилия репетиторов могут человека вытащить. Но если на это денег нет, то они становятся неуспешными. И, наконец, другая сторона – это система проверки знаний, рутинна и скучна для педагогов в школах и университетах. Нет процесса включения и обратной связи, что критически важно для отслеживания успеха и неуспеха по отдельным темам. Эта проблема недообучения может быть преодолена искусственным интеллектом. Это может быть обученный цифровой ассистент, который возьмет на себя функции включенной проверки и постоянной обратной связи. У школьника и студента есть шанс получить постоянный респонс, постоянный стимул. И если искусственный интеллект, его прикладные модели решит эту проблему, мы получим колоссальный бустинг уровня интеллектуального капитала человеческого. И последняя проблемная зона, на которой я хотел бы остановиться, это излишняя прикладнизация образования. Требования все более и более прикладного образования. Сегодня все чаще и чаще образование продается под лозунгом того, что ученики получат прикладные навыки. И это прекрасно. Тем не менее, слишком сильный уход в прикладную часть – это прямая дорога к тому, что мы получили одномерных специалистов, которые слишком заточены на конкретный процесс и не видят широкого контекста своих действий, своих возможностей. Важность фундаментального образования из-за таких лозунгов, надо сказать, сильно размывается. Даже вот название этой сессии, цитата «мне это в жизни не пригодится», хорошо это показывает. Тем не менее, мы склонны усеченным образом смотреть на слово «пригодилось». На самом деле это не так просто, мы просто не умеем объяснять это ученикам. Как математика и физика могут пригодиться в жизни гуманитариям? Вычисление интегралов на работе, в измерением центробежной силы объекта или сборкой паяльника. Никто из нас не будет этого делать. На самом деле не так. Фундаментальные предметы, в которых заложена задача вычислять, находить закономерность, это формирование логического мышления, критического мышления, возможности действовать в результатах неопределенности. Но для того, чтобы эти навыки сформировались у человека независимых предметов, ему просто нужны практики в этих предметах. То есть нам надо перейти от разговоров, от показов к реальному освоению, и это, мягко говоря, далеко не с каждым учеником и не в каждой школе работает. Таким образом, все известные навыки могут возникнуть у человека, который разносторонне развит. И здесь мы выходим на новую развилку, о которой, кажется, мало задумываются сегодня. Вот сбрасывание рутин, массовое освоение предметов, которые раньше сталкивались в формально осваиваемых. Есть новый шанс для ренессанса идеи гармоничной личности, личности ренессанса так называемой. Гармонично развитая личность обладает совокупностью компетенций, как в своей сфере, так и смежной. Она может понять контекст той сферы, в которой человек не прямо занят, и широкое видение и понимание окружающих процессов, окружающих явлений, хотя бы это знание и не имело инструментального характера. Вот мне кажется, что набор вызовов, который стоит перед нами, он достоин не просто разговора, он достоин того, чтобы мы искали конкретные успешные решения или конкретные катастрофы, которые у нас происходят в разных странах, сопоставлялись друг с другом. И у нас был бы база для того, чтобы мы были друг другу полезны. В этом, собственно говоря, смысл науки и прикладной науки. Я желаю вам всем успехов, коллеги.
Thank you very much for your keynote introductory address, Dr. Kuzminov. I would like to ask if there are any quick questions or maybe comments to the presentation. Please raise your hand. And while people are still considering, I would like to use my position as moderator to ask one question, and that is related to the modern digital competences that you referred to in the beginning of your presentation. What can we do with the fear of some parents? Some parents fear that these digital competences will harm somehow their children, will not be beneficial, will not give any additional value to the children. So how to deal with these parental fears?
Ну, я уже говорил, что, на мой взгляд, ключевой метод здесь – это вовлекать ученика в какие-то успешные практики на каждом предмете, который мы ему преподаем. То есть он должен что-то руками попробовать и понять, что это, во-первых, действительно. Вот есть реальная химическая реакция, которая у него получилась, он сделал ее своими руками. Что он реально что-то вычислил, это получилось. Что он реально написал алгоритм, который работает. Это дает человеку уверенность в своих силах, понятно, на каком-то отдельном примере. Но если их примеров будет несколько, если мы в разных и разнонаправленных предметах, например, в литературе, в иностранном языке, в математике, дадим ему примеры такого рода успешных собственных практик, мне кажется, что это может преодолеть такого рода отчуждение, такого рода неуверенность. И это ответ на уровне современных технологий. Мне кажется, что это сегодня можно реализовать. И второй – это просто внимание к процессу постижения темы каждым школьником. Сейчас это невозможно в силу классной урочной практики, работы только с отдельными людьми из класса. Если мы начнем внедрять активно модели ассистента учителя, давайте посмотрим, что он может дать в отношении более полной обратной связи, которую может получить ученик. Вполне возможно, что эффект ее меньше, чем мы ожидаем, но я уверен, что он в какой-то степени будет.
Thank you very much. Any further questions, dear colleagues? If not, I would like to thank you very much, Dr. Kuzminov, for making this presentation, and we shall then proceed with our first topic that will be presented by Associate Professor at Kalasalingham University in India, Jay Denai. He is currently a coordinator, associate professor with the Department of ECE at the Kalasalingham Academy of Research and Education. And his research interests include image processing, network security, and innovation techniques in entrepreneurship. And Dr. Denai will talk about entrepreneurial experience of university graduates. So, Dr. Denai, please. You can share your screen if you wish.
Yeah. My voice is audible, ma'am?
I'm sorry.
Are you hearing me voice?
We can hear you well, yes. If you have
Yeah,
slides,
please.
you can share your screen.
Yeah, please.
So we can see your slides, yes. If you can make a full screen mode. Yes, that
Yeah.
is perfect. Please go ahead. You have 10 minutes, please.
Yeah, please, ma'am. I will complete within the 10 minutes, definitely. So, good morning, not all present here. It is a great honor to me. I am presenting my postdoctoral research topic on the nurturing global entrepreneurial exposure for graduate, a higher education perspective, with the respective of case studies in our campus. I am working as an associate professor in the Department of Electronic Communication and the Deputy Director of Innovation and Entrepreneurship and the head of Kalashilingam Business Incubator. So, today I have explained about how we are creating the ecosystem in our campus, how the innovation and then entrepreneurial mindset we are created in the campus. I will discuss within the 10 minutes. Okay. So we have started an Innovation Entrepreneurial Development Center in our campus in the year of 2014 and 15. So it is fully funded by Department of Science and Technology. So through this center, we have conducting the orientation trainings, skill development trainings, and then intellectual acts like patents, and then how the design projects, and then we are given the mentoring support with the industrial support. So these kind of activities we have conducted through the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Development Center as well as the Kalashilingam Technology Business Incubator in our campus. So this is our mission and mission. So our mission is to be a self-funded department. So it will be helpful for our stakeholders. So our mission is to develop the mechanism of the required infrastructure. We need to provide the required infrastructures to the students community as well as the faculty community. So it will be useful for develop their innovative ideas into the prototype as well as the product development. So we are getting the support from the industry as well as government as well as academic institution also we have the time. So this is our vision and mission. So I already explained about objectives is we want to create an entrepreneurial mindset in our campus. So this is our main motive. We have the Kalashilingam Technology Business Incubator on campus, and then we are conducting more training related to all genders. Like we are motivate the women entrepreneurs, women students also, and then we have frequently conducting the seminars, workshops, the design contest, and then short-term training program also we are conducting the program activities, and then we are providing the self-funding. So our management will give the funding for the students community as well as the faculty community if they have start their own ventures. So like that, we are providing the support to the students as well as the faculty community. So this is our growth of an innovation ecosystem in our campus. So we have started in the year of 2014-15 is IEDC. It is mainly focusing on the pre-incubation period. So in this pre-incubation, they are prototype development training like that we are providing. It started in the year of 2014. And the year of 2017-18, we have approved as a technology business incubator in the Ministry of MSM. It is it's a Ministry of our Government of India. So through this, we have providing the incubation phase to the students as well as the faculty community. And then we are provide the seed fund support to the stakeholders as well as we are given the support for the company formation and all the activities through the KTB. So in the year of 2018-19, as per our Indian regulation AICTE, we are creating the Institution Innovation Council. So through this Institution Innovation Council, we have conducting the training program towards the students community like intellectual property rights, innovation and entrepreneurship, and then startup policy, all the things we have carried out in the IAC. Okay. After that, we have established in there of STA Hub, Science and Technology Innovation Hub in there 2019-20. And then we have established ACAC and Kalashilingam Innovation Foundation in there 2021. And with the support of Atal Innovation Mission. So each and every stage, we are getting the funds from the government sectors. And then we have started in the MSME Incubation Center in the year 21-22. And then recently, we have get the Startup India Seed Fund Support Scheme. So through these centers, through these funding agencies, we have created the good ecosystem in our campus. So we have created the entrepreneurial mindset to the students as well as the faculty members. So this is the methodology we have created for the students community. So it is named as the JD paradigm. Why I am named as the JD paradigm? This is my name, J. Danny. So because based on my experience in my activity, so last 10 years I am working towards the innovation and entrepreneurship creation in our campus. So based on my experience, I have created the 4-year activity. So because we are creating the bachelor degree is a 4 years degree. So in our campus, so we have created the 4-year activity. I am done that. So in the first year, I have conducting the entrepreneurship orientation plan for all the students. So after the orientation program, we have conducted the self-assessment test. So it is analyze the capability of the entrepreneurial mindset in the students, and then we are selecting the particular students for the next layer of activities. So this is the way we are conducting the first year programs. So in the second year, we are conducting entrepreneurship awareness camps. So like this is the 3-day camps. So we are conducting the awareness camp in the stream-based manner. Like if the students from the electrical department, if the students from the biomedical department, so a lot of departments are there. So each and every department will conduct the awareness camp. Why? Because in that, so students can learn about what are the business opportunities in their core domain. So this is the way we have conducted the entrepreneurship awareness camps. And then we have conducted the skill-based training program. Sometimes I am belongs to EC department, but I want to know about the biomedical equipments. Otherwise, I want to know about the solar-based equipments. So we are conducting a skill-based training program that per kind of persons. So they can learn about the hands-on experience, how to develop the product with the biomedical field, how to develop the product with the solar field. Like that, we are conducting the training programs for the second year students. After that, we are conducting the EDP program. EDP program is a 6-week program. During the semester holidays, we are conducting that program in our campus. So after that, the third year, it is mainly focused on project development. So how we are do the project development in the sense, we have 2 kind of courses in our campus. One is a community focused project as well as experiential learning project. So through this process, students can collect the real-time problem statement in and around the university, and then they can select the particular problem statement, and then they can give the solution for the technical based solution. So like that, we are creating the students to the innovative mindset in the third year. And then if they are doing the innovative product, definitely it will be suitable for the pattern or designs. So we are given the input to the students, how to file the pattern, how to draft the designs. Like that, we are given the training for the third year students. And then the business model training. The product is ready. They are protect their IPR, intellectual property. Next, we go for the business plan preparation, how to get the funds from the various agencies. So this kind of training programs we are conducted in the third year. After the business plan preparation training, they can submit their proposal to the government or private agencies. So through this private agency or government agency, they can get the funds for their new venture generation process. So this is the activity we have conducted in the first, second, third year. So the first 3 years activity we are mentioned as the pre-incubation period. Pre-incubation period is training, skill development, patterns, prototype development, business plan preparation, and funding. So like that, we are conducting this kind of programs in our campus. In the final year, we have conducting the open learning program and entrepreneurship. We have done that, and then we have give the support for company registration process for the students as well as the faculty community. And then we are given the support for product development, and then we are how the product will be commercialized. So this kind of way we are implementing ecosystem in our campus. So this is the every activity I already explained in data, but most of the time we are utilizing the resource person as our alumni faculty members. Why? Because in that it will be helpful for our students. Our seniors have started their own ventures in this, and I am able to do that. So this kind of impact I have created through the alumni entrepreneurs. So that we have selected the alumni entrepreneurs for the resource persons. So these are the funding schemes and facilities are available in our campus. For have the DST funds is there around 3.99 crores from the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. Around 477 members are benefited through that. These are the schemes are available. And then through the EDA, Enterprise Development Innovation Institute, also they are providing the funds for around 14. They are conducting the training programs. And then EDA Tamil Nadu is our local, I think is our state of Tamil Nadu. They are providing the funds for the prototype development. And then Atal Innovation Mission, they are providing the funds. So each and every funds, it is utilized by our faculty members, students, and as well as industrial people also, they are getting the support from our ecosystems. Okay. So we have the wonderful infrastructure facility in our campus. We are providing the working office space for the stakeholders, as well as we have the wonderful labs in our campus. We have the specific international research center. We have the high equipped labs, and then high equipped machineries are in our campus. So if the students or faculty or any industries, they want to develop their prototype or product, they can utilize our labs and facilities and research centers, and then they can make their product and then they can test their products in the same place. So it is a wonderful opportunity in our campus. We have the conduct that, and then we have the fab lab, maker labs for the students as well as the faculty community. So through this ecosystem, what kind of impact we have created in our campus? So around we have funded mentorship. The 22 teams, 22 startups are getting that. They are getting the mentorship and then space, and then with government funds also we are providing that. Around 35 startups, they can get the mentorship as well as space we are providing in our campus. And then around 11 virtual incubators are there with the funds we are providing that. And then we have the 7 virtual incubators. So these are the ratios. Students, 21 startups are there, faculty 13, and then others in the sense industrialists and then other persons 41. So we have 27 manufacturing sector startups are incubated in our campus, and 48 service sector startups are incubated in the campus. So you have the file, the patterns and employment generation and technology transfer also we have available in our campus. So these are some of the innovative products developed by our students community. All the 6 products developed by our students community. So we have through this training program, through this design thinking activity. So every year India, they are given the ranking like ARIA ranking, Atal ranking for innovation institution accreditation. So they are given the ranking for that. At the same time, that one person called as Ahas Aswadi, he attending the hackathon in the Smart India hackathon conducted by the AICT and Ministry of Education. He is got the runner-up. Currently, he is working as a NASA. So if you are given the training program towards the innovation and entrepreneurship to the students community, all the students are not able to convert the startups. Sometimes it will be create the design thinking to the students. It will be helpful for their career also. So like that, we are creating the students mentality in our campus. So these are the funds we have received for the pre-incubation concepts. So pre-incubation is the training and skill development and prototype development. These are the active funds we have received from the various agencies. So these are the agencies we have received that. So these are the students project. Every year we are given the funds. So how we are analyze the students projects in the sense, every year we have conducting the innovation contest to the students community. So they are presenting their ideas, and then we have evaluated their ideas, and then we have selected the best ideas for the funding. So that's why we are getting the multiple funds from the various agencies. So before that, we are conducting the frequent review to the students, how they develop the product, how it will be useful for the community people, how they commercialize, how they get the funds. So this kind of aspect, we are providing the all kind of trainings, 360-degree support to the faculty as well as students members for ours. So due to the time conservation, I will skip the slides, some of the slides. Okay, this is the main thing have received for the incubation support fundings in the sense they are develop the product. So prototype into the product. These are the funds we have received from the various agencies, government agencies from our India. So this is the one of the unique course we have started recently in our campus, like Foundation on Innovation and Entrepreneurs is created by myself and my teams. So this course is handled by the innovation ambassadors. They are trained ambassadors from the Ministry of Education in our India. So this main content of this course is we are mainly focusing on the entrepreneurial mindset and then design thinking for entrepreneurs, problem solution fit and product market fit and industry compliance IPR and funding. So these kind of course contents we are delivering in the students. For examination, this course we don't have the examination. So it is full and full activity based course, and then students, if they file the patent, so if they get the funds and then they have participated in the hackathons and they are winning in the sense, they are getting the marks like that. So these are the practices we have, that 1 minute paper presentation, team mind mapping, so failure analysis of startups, and then we have conducted the industrial visit. So this kind of expert we are focusing on that. So this is just innovation ecosystem, like entrepreneur mindset we have created, and then software development or product development, and it will be converted into the pattern. And then we are getting the funds from the various agencies, and then we are getting from the students and as well as the faculty community. So these are some of the successful startup students in our campus. So they are getting the 10 lakhs funds from the Department of Science and Technology from our Indian government. So these are the startups we have inside the campus. So the most trusty areas in our campus is biotech and biomedical engineering and mechanical art and automation, renewable energy and ICT, waste management academy. So these are the trust areas are inside the campus. We have the wonderful lab infrastructure and we have the wonderful faculty mentors for their trust areas. So it's already explained about the infrastructure support we are already providing in our campus. So these are the some of the funded projects, developed product in our campus. So every year we have, every month, every week we are conducting a lot of events in our campus towards the innovation and entrepreneurship and intellectual property rights also. So these are the events we have conducted in our campus. So through the conduction of programs and getting the funds for the innovation ecosystem. So Ministry of Education, they are providing the star rating based on the activities carried out by the institution. It is given by the government of India. So in the year of 2018-19, we got the 4-star rating, 5-star rating. Year of 1920, we got the 4-star rating, and then the year of 2021, we got the 4-star rating, and then 21-22, we got the 4-star rating. And then recent year, last 22-23 also, we are getting the 4-star rating. And then it is another one ranking is announced by the Ministry of Education, Atal ranking for institution on innovation achievements. So in the year of starting 2019 only it is started. In the 2019 we are the top 100 institution. The 2020 we are the top 25 deemed universities in our India. And then in the year of 2021 we were ranked high. It's the 6th deemed university in the Atal ranking. And then last year it is included in the NIRF National Innovation Ranking. So in this category we are the top 50 position in our India for the innovation ecosystem. So this is the rating scenario. It is given by the government of India as well as the Ministry of Education and the AICT. We are the in the southern region, we are the only institution getting the top star rating for the ecosystem creation towards the innovation and entrepreneurship in our India. So this is my contact details. So in our campus, we are conducting the we have created paradigm-based training programs to the students community, and then we have getting the funds from the various funding is like government and private and a lot of agency we are providing the trainings. So we have conducting the training programs for the students, and then we are conducting the faculty development program, and then we are conducting the technology development programs also. So these kind of programs will inculcate the students as well as the faculty members. It create the design thinking mindset, and then they are ready to develop their own product, and then they can start their own venture in the sense. So this is the way they are doing that. So I thank the organizers for the given the wonderful opportunity. So I have completed the PhD. Currently I am doing the postdoctoral fellowship in the University of Technology and Humanities, and I'm Poland. So my research topic is mainly focused on the innovation incubation. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, you can ask me, please.
Thank you very much, Dr. Denai. Due to time constraints, we can take one question to Dr. Denai. Do we have a question?
Yes, yeah, please,
Oh,
ma'am.
please go ahead.
Yeah, I have one short question. On the slide methodology for implementation, it is written that company registration happens on the 4th year, year number 4.
Yes,
so
sir.
why not earlier? Is it so difficult in India to register a company?
So it's a year-based activities. That's why I mentioned in the 4th year, because some of the students are very much interested, and then some of the students are having the prototype in the early year also. They are eligible to file the company formation. There is no issue in that. So the minimum qualification or the minimum age condition is the 18 years. If the student is crossed the 18 years, they are eligible for file for the company formation, open to all. But they need this kind of exposure, how to file the patent, how to develop the product. So that's why we are fixing in the 4th year. Some students are very much interested in that, means we are given that access in the 2nd year onwards also. So based on the involvement from the students as well as the faculty, even that kind of support, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Thank you, sir.
Dr.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, Dr. Denai. Our next speaker is Alexander Sokolov. He is head of HSE International Foresight Center, and he specializes in future, specifically Foresight studies. He is also UNESCO Chair on Future Studies. Dr. Sokolov will talk about human development and future studies of the Foresight Center. Please, Dr. Sokolov, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. Can you hear me? Yeah, and my slides are there on the screen. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Liliana.
Yes, please go ahead. Everything is
okay. So my name is Alexander Sokolov. I'm the Deputy Director at the Institute of Statistical Studies and Economics of Knowledge. at our university. And I'm chairholder of UNESCO Chair on Future Studies. So my presentation will devote to how to respond to growing uncertainty and complexity with the help of science, technology, foresight. I just wanted to, in the beginning, I wanted to mention that we provide dozens of foresight studies in different areas, mostly devoted to science, technology, and innovation every year. So we are one of the largest foresight centers worldwide, in fact. So let me begin with the mention that the speed of change is accelerating very quickly. So in the next minute, you will see how many events will happen. So more than 1 million online purchases, more than 40 million messages in WhatsApp. We are now in Zoom, so more than 200,000 participants on meetings in Zoom, and we are there as well. And to a large extent, it's related to fast development of IT and artificial intelligence in particular. Also, we see that there are more and more wild cards. Wild card is an event which we cannot assess the probability of its realization, but when it happens, it brings a lot of different effects, so sometimes unexpected. So we see that more and more wild cards are on the horizon, and many of them are closely interconnected, so it's very difficult to deal with them. For some of them we know, very well, but we don't do anything to do something to minimize their negative effects. Also, what's important for technologies are the key driver of development now. But the problem is that most people think linear, whereas technologies develop non-linear. There are several laws. You see them on the slide. Moore's law, everybody knows about it, so we think that it goes linear, but it goes much higher. So if we consider that every year the power of chips is doubling in 10 years, it will be more powerful 1,000 times. The Amara's law says that people overestimate effects of the technology in the short run and underestimate it in the long run. It's also the reason behind it is that people think linear. Another law, Metcalfe's law, says that a network's import is proportional to the square of the number of nodes in the network. So it also shows you that the development of different even businesses or networks is non-linear. So these are issues which are very important, and to deal with issues, we use the methodology or approach which is called Foresight. Is the process involved in systematically attempting to look into the longer-term future of science, technology, economy, and society with the aim of identifying the areas of strategic research and the emerging genetic technologies likely to yield the greatest economic and social benefit. It's the definition made by Ben Martin from Science Policy Research Unit in Sussex University. What are the basic principles of foresight? So we start from identifying grand challenges and the key trends which identify social and economic development. Then we see how these challenges, these trends change existing markets and create new ones. After that, we analyze which technologies will have the most innovation promises in those markets, which science and technologies should be developed to get such technologies, and which skills will be needed, will be in demand in the future. So this is the basic idea of basic logic of future studies. And the key idea behind Foresight study is to identify points of efforts to be applied, like future markets, innovative products and services, new technological solutions, research areas, and human skills, which is also very important. On this basis, the system of priorities is identified and it's implemented. We are building roadmaps for priorities, for realization of these priorities. The science technology foresight, the process of science technology foresight is reiterating. So it starts with foresight, then it goes for identification of priority for development of particular sectors. Then we are building technology roadmaps. We implement these priorities. And for this, there are a lot of implementation instruments of different kinds, like sectoral or national research programs or technology initiatives or strategies by individual business and so on. So, and after evaluation of the effects of these studies, we go to the next round, take into account what was done well, what was done not very well. So the process is reiterated in good foresight studies. Some of foresight studies, after implementation once, they stop for forever. But we think that it's important to have more successful foresight studies, and to do this, they need to cope with deep uncertainties. The problems here are high uncertainty as such, and there are different methods to implement to resolve this problem. One of them is building scenarios, and we have a lot of data, but we have much less data which we really need. This is one of the problem. So for this purpose, we use analysis of big data in foresight studies, and also we provide we engage best experts, and so we provide different exercises with them. Increasing complexity of process system, they require new models, and the models are more and more complicated. It means that we need to develop this as well. I mentioned already wild cards. This area also needs to be promoted and be studied more intensively. More and more issues and grand challenges are interdisciplinary. They cover different countries, different areas of research, different sectors of economy, society, and so on. So we apply the approach which is called STPVL, which engage studies of economy, society, technological, value-related, and legal and other issues. So there are other instruments. I will not be going to discuss them in detail. For any successful foresight exercise, we need to engage experts, of course, and experts are the key asset for future studies. And we need to engage best experts. We need to make them work creatively. We need to arrange interaction between them. But the most important thing now is to provide experts with very well systemized evidence-based information. What are the reason? Many experts lost a large amount of information. They have more and more data and don't know what to do with this. They do not follow the latest trends. They have too narrow expertise sometimes. Sometimes they are rather superficial. Very few of them can think out of the box. Sometimes they are not aware of very important trends. So what we try to do, we try to organize and systemize and to provide them with evidence-based information. What we do to provide them with information? We use artificial intelligence tools. We developed a system which is called I4, Intelligent Foresight Analytics, which now consists more than 800 million documents of different kinds, scientific publications, informational grants, research grants from scientific conferences, clinical research, patents, educational programs, and so on. And so we use this to provide this evidence-based information, and it's organized in a puzzle way. So we have different parts, different blocks of the system, which we can use depending on the specific analyzed area. So we can adjust the instrument to a particular area or task or the problem we analyze with the system. So we have blocks analyzing trends, analyzing different technologies, markets, analyzing risks, legal environment, and many other blocks. So I can show you a few examples of how the system works. This is a map of cases of key issues related to science, technology, innovation policy. It was analyzed based on international documents of different kinds. You can see that we can identify here different clusters, different blocks, which shows how one issues are close to other issues on the one hand. On the other hand, we can zoom on this picture. You can see only the most general view here the slide. But we can zoom. We can identify which issues are related with which one, which are consistent from other more detailed issues, and so on. We can identify promising science technology trends. Here you see a case of digital economy. It's made since the system works with different languages, with Russian, English, Chinese, and many others. So here the examples of analysis of documents in Chinese language, and you can see that we can identify the trends. And we can locate them at the matrix of significance and then dynamics. And so we can identify those of them which are already the mainstream, which are already significant. Some of them are not that significant, but they develop very fastly. These are emerging trends. So some are weak signals, which are just emerging. And so we can look at this and identify which of them must be most interesting in the future and will have the largest impact. Also, we can define this is another example also for China. You can see here which areas of research are the most important for China based on analysis of documents of different kinds. The system also allows for analyzing life cycle analysis for individual technologies. You can see here examples of AI and neuro technologies, and you can see how they move from more research and basic research to more and more new products which are already presented on the market. and we can on this basis make judgments on how the technology will be developed in the future. We can also analyze which technologies plays the most important role for which sectors of the economy. Here an example of robots, how different technologies related to robots create new niches in different sectors of the economy. Also, we can identify key centers of competence. Here you can see also example of robotics. We can identify key businesses, key companies, key universities, key R&D centers, which are the most successful in developing different either product or technologies. One of the most important issues is identifying the trends, which I mentioned already. We use the approach which is we call STPV, and so we analyze different areas. And here is the example for Russia's agricultural sector. We identified social, environmental, technological, political, economical, and related to various different issues. And on this basis, we developed such technology Foresight for this area, for Russian agriculture sector. Another example is funnel of trends. It's also important because when you deal with experts, visual presentation is very important. When you show them in a clear way what is already there, you can see this the trends in the center of the picture. They are already there. The next one are emerging, and the other one will be probably the most important in 10 years ahead. And so we can analyze what are the trends in R&D, in manufacturing, in customer relations, and so on, in different areas. So I would like to show you now results of some results of one of our works, which was fully related to human capital. So we used our system, plus we used our trend database and expert database to identify key trends in this area. So we analyzed around 500 million of documents. We identified more than 1,000 global and national trends which are related to development of human capital, and we selected out of them 48 which are the most relevant to this area. And after that we organized Delphi survey engaging Russian and international experts, and on this basis we identified key issues which are related to human capital. Here you can see the key areas which we identified within this work. It's a decision making using AI. It's human enhancement technology, widespread use of wearable devices, and a lot of different issues related to different areas. Social, like rising inequality, or economic, like shift to green economy or sharing economy, and the different issues. So when we use this approach STPV, so it helps us to build a picture of the future which is related to different issues, and it shows sometimes interconnection between these issues. So for each of trends we identified, we analyze in detail from which small trends it consists of, what are key characteristics of this, which are most important now, which will be most important in the future. We analyze effects here. We analyze effects right now or effects in the future. We analyze also weak signals which are emerging now in this area, what are the wildcards which might change the trend radically, what might be effects of these wildcards. So this is how they are analyzed. And now a few words about how technologies will change the demand for future skills, and it will be related to both labor market on the one hand, and on the other hand to the education system. So you can see that we can analyze impact of different technologies on occupation. This is an example of IT, but we can do it for any other area of technology. And we identified on this basis key issues related to human being, how it will live in 21st century, and what are the key issues which will be related to human development in the future. So now a few examples of how the technologies might change the landscape of occupation, which concrete skills will be in demand in the future. So you can see here analysis of which occupations will emerge based on new technologies. Some of them are rather new, like light water reactor experts or carbon dioxide removal specialists, so on, genomic sequencing scientists. But we analyzed not just new occupations, but we also analyzed which concrete skills will be needed. This is an example for IT. You can see that, of course, data analysis is one of the issues which is most in demand now and will be probably in the future. But what's important, soft skills. Also, the demand for soft skills is also growing. It in 10 years it grows more than twice. And we can see another evidence of this. We analyzed also skills of employees in the area of IT. So we analyzed different subject areas related to IT, and we identified that the such skills as communication-related skills, many of them very different, like prioritization, team management, recruitment, so on, or analytical skills or management skills will be in a very high demand even for this area, for IT. For other areas, it might be even more in demand. Another example is also analysis of the digital economy we did a few years ago, and you can see that many different skills are required there, and some of them, like HR management or multidisciplinary skills or public relation even skills, will be very highly required by sector of IT. So this is my slide. So I finished. If you have any questions, I will be happy to reply. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Alexander. Are there any questions to the presentation?
I have a question.
Yes, please go ahead.
A very quick one. So this analysis for skills for IT sector, is it regarding only Russian labor market, or is it about global labor market?
It's about global labor market.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Then we would like to welcome our third speaker, Dr. Lin Hoon Leong, Associate Professor at Taylor's University in Malaysia, Faculty of Business and Law. Dr. Lin's research interests span various areas, including business ethics, sustainability, corporate social responsibility, corporate political strategy, and the circular economy. Recently has expanded his research scope to include the emerging field of blockchain technology, and his presentation exactly covers this topic, the role of artificial intelligence in advancing human development in complex large-scale projects. Dr. Lin, do you have a possibility to find a quieter place? Because we hear a lot of background noise.
Yeah, because sorry, I at the train station at this moment. That's why
right.
I just arrived in. I just
Right, I
arrived
see.
UK
Well,
this
it
morning.
seems we caught you in the middle of
Right.
travel. So, okay, then
Yeah.
we can see your slides already. Can you please make it into the full screen mode? And then the floor is yours.
Sure. Okay, I will. Okay, I think I would like to a quick one. Okay, a quick presentation. I think all of you can hear me clearly. Is it okay?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. A very good morning. A very good morning to all of you. Okay, it's a great pleasure to be here today to discuss a topic that is both exciting and crucial for our future: the synergetic role of artificial intelligence in catalyzing human potential for advanced sustainable development initiative. I would like to thank Foresight and STI Governance Journal to invite me to give a speech. So as we stand at the crossroad of unprecedented technological advancement and pressing environment and social challenge, the integration of AI offers transformative potential. This presentation aims to explore how AI can amplify the human capability and drive innovative solutions to achieve our sustainable development goal or SDG. Of course, the first slide I think is very important. Okay? I'd like to delve into the transformative role of AI in sustainable development, or AI is artificial intelligence. It's not merely a technological advancement, but it's a catalyst for profound change in how we tackle sustainability challenge. But just now the professor also mentioned AI is one of the important tools to help us. Okay, so AI has a transformative impact on sustainability because my focus will be in facility. AI technology provide a new tools and methodology, visualizations, our approach to environment and social issue. This transformation enable more efficient and effective what we call the solution to complex problem, fostering a sustainable future. Secondly, AI amplify human potential by augmenting our cognitive and analytical ability. AI help us to solve many problems that were previously insurmountable. Okay, so AI enhance our decision-making capability, making us more capable and efficient in addressing sustainability challenges. Later, we will discuss how. Okay, so this synergy between human intelligence and AI result in more informed and impactful decisions. Thirdly, how AI also drive innovation solution. So AI foster the development of normal solution to complex sustainability issue. This facilitate and creation, what we call the advancement technology and strategy, significantly improve the sustainable practice. For example, AI power system can optimize energy use, reduce waste, enhance resource management, or leading a sustainable operation across various sectors. This is very true when all the industries start applying AI in their operation. Or lastly, I can say
sorry, Dr. Ling, do you mean to change slides?
Sorry?
Because we still see the first slide of yours.
Sorry?
We only see the first slide. Do you mean to change slides? The slides are not changing.
Yeah, same slide, because I'm still displaying the same slide.
Still the first slide, okay.
Okay,
Could you also please
also...
speak up a little bit? Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ken. Okay, thirdly is about the AI data-driven process. So AI, I mean that driven decision-making. The data-driven approach will ensure decision based on solid evidence. Okay, and how is it AI help us make informed decision crucial for certain level. So in overall, the first slide here talking about the AI importance in sustainable development. Cannot be overstated. So the transform our approach to sustainability challenge, amplify human potential, and drive innovative solution. So my second slide is talking about the enhancing human connective and also the analytical. So first talking about the automation of complex data analysis. So of course, what we call the AI can process and analyze large data set far more quickly and accurately than human. Of course, this one AI shift through enormous amount of data to provide valuable insight and enable us to make informed data-driven decision. And secondly, talking about the provision of predictive insight, whereby what we call the AI can forecast future trend and outcome. This is very important because predicting market trend, weather pattern or consumer behavior. This is very important for market.
Oh, I'm sorry once again, Dr. Lim, but we only still see the first slide. Only the first slide. I'm quite certain you have moved forward. Yes, this is better. Thank you.
Okay. Second slide will be talking about what we call the automation complex and also data driven. Second is the predictive insight, whereby the third one on the decision making, what we call the AI driven precise driven what we call the data driven insight, reducing risk and error, what we call the improving overall efficiency, especially in medical diagnostic, financial forecasting and risk management. This will lead more reliable and effective outcome. So by minimizing the human error and the bias, so AI ensure that the decision are based on solid evidence and accurate analytics. The last one talking about application in environmental management and resource management. So AI monitor environmental change and also manage, reduce what we call efficiency, certain practice, and also maintain, improve. So overall talking here, overall this slide is talking about the what we call the AI transformation, how we analyze, make decisions, and manage the resources. So the third slide about the AI in environmental, what we call the monitoring. So overall, this slide talking about the AI role in environmental monitoring, what we call the for sustainability, for pollution detection, and also wildlife monitoring, and also insight necessary, what we call the protect and preserve the environment. So as we continue to harness AI capability, we can look forward to a future where environmental monitoring is more precise, proactive, and effective. So the next slide, I focus more on the how fostering inclusive. So this slide is talking about the fostering inclusive and equitable growth. So as you know, there's a 4 point I mentioned. First is talking about the democratic thing, access to education and healthcare. This is mainly for the make education more accessible to underserved population, providing remote and personalized service. Whereby in the learning wise, AI tailors education content to individual learning style and need, where we can improve the education outcome and also ensure everyone have the opportunity to succeed. Thirdly, about the medical consultation, remote medication consultation. This is one of the trends, bringing healthcare to people in remote area, ensuring access to medical care and location. And lastly, talking about the bridging the gap in underserved region, so can reduce disparity in access to essential service, promoting social equality and also ensuring technology advancement. So overall, AI ensure what we call the technology advancement benefit all member society. As we continue to integrate AI in various sectors, we can promote a more inclusive and equitable world. That's what we call fostering inclusive and equitable growth. The next one is talking about how we want to design the AI. So this is quite crucial. In order to design an inclusive AI system, we need to consider a few points here. First is talking about the culture sensitivity. So AI ensures technology are appropriate and benefit for all users. There's no bias to certain category or certain group of people. Of course, when designing the AI system, you need to be more inclusive and design principle. So to serve diverse population, considering different needs and ensuring accessibility. Of course, make sure the system are ensuring broad benefit, so provide across all segments and society. Inclusive AI help to bridge the gap and promote social equality. And last one is talking about the AI development must employ strategy, prioritize inclusivity, diverse team, user-centered design, and continuous feedback. So as we continue to develop and deploy AI technology, it's crucial to prioritize inclusivity, equality to build a more just and equitable world. So designing AI is quite important, especially you want to design a system here. So of course, the other way, another part is we kind of forgot with the ethical and society implication of AI. As you know that AI system can perpetuate existing bias if not properly managed. So that's what we're very scared if certain part or certain group of people wrongly abuse the AI. So we need to develop a method to detect and eliminate the bias in AI algorithm. Of course, privacy and data protection. Okay, robust data protection measures are critical. So we need to maintain the trust and comply with regulation. Of course, job displacement. So of course, AI have the potential to displace certain jobs. So important to prepare a workforce for these changes through a reskilling and education. If not, human being will be jobless and everything will rely too much on the AI. And lastly, talking about the developer must employ strategy for inclusive AI development. So by incorporating diverse, diverse perspective ongoing feedback, so we ensure AI technology is fair, effective, and beneficial to all users. So of course, another one we're talking about is here is about the AI governance and also the job displacement. So we need a proper framework that can galvanize the AI in ensuring the AI to manage the AI impact, ensuring the responsible and ethical use. Of course, AI must provide the transparency and accountability, mitigating risks like bias and privacy invasion. Of course, lastly is about the education and reskilling program to prepare for the workforce. As you know, all the industry will try to embrace AI in their sector. Reskilling the human being workforce is very important. So we need to think in the future how we want to maintain the human workforce over here. Of course, in order, my topic is more focused on the sustainability. So one of the what I call the future trajectory will be the circular economy. how we want to use AI in optimizing the cycle process, and also how to reducing the waste and promoting use in envisioning future AI-human collaboration. So the future holds great potential for human collaboration, achieving unprecedented advancement of society. Of course, aligning AI with SDG goal. That is what our domain. So how we want to use AI in the security group is quite very beyond in our society nowadays. So I hope in one day, especially in Asia, we can use AI in helping the circular economy. So this is my last slide. So in order to recap, what I discussed, actually, in conclusion, AI is a revolutionary circular economic model for we need shaping the future. So AI has emerged potential to advance sustainable development. Integration human effort is very important, can lead to a significant advancement in sustainability. So by promoting the AI is crucial, but we need to have ethical consideration and also collaboration to ensure responsible and benefit the AI deployment. So let's work together to harness AI, fulfill the potential sustainable future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lin. Are there any questions to Dr. Lin? Meanwhile, I would like to ask my question as a participant also, not as a moderator. You spoke about the ethical guidelines that are required to guide the artificial intelligence, so it is in line with sustainable development and ESG principles. What do you see? What mechanism do you see for developing these guidelines? Should they be developed at the global level? And if so, what will be then the practical mechanism of agreeing on these guidelines amongst all the global stakeholders? Thank you.
Okay, for the moment, this is just a conceptual, conceptual work from me. Of course, I would like to this time I come to the UK is to work together with the UK university. How we want to develop AI, AI in the sustainability. So to me, starting with small scale, rather than to be before to test run a few model, then we will go to the large scale. So hopefully we can get funding from the government or United Nations. How we want to embrace the AI in every sector, but of course nowadays we are more focused on the sustainability SDG. So why not we try to use AI help us to control and to advance the achievement of the AI to reduce the pollution and climate change nowadays.
Are there any further questions to Dr. Lin? You can please raise your hand.
Yeah.
Okay, Alexander.
Okay, thank you very much for your presentation, Dr. Lin. My question is about the interrelation between AI and other technology areas. For example, just yesterday we had a meeting with one of the large technological business here in Moscow, and they were interested in how AI might be used to increase efficiency of energy systems. Maybe you can say something about this.
Okay, talking about the energy. Okay, of course, AI is one of the important, especially we talk about the sustainable practice. Okay, how to nowadays we talk, even though in our country we very much rely on the fuel energy, but future, of course, what we call the petrol or those natural resources are depleting or no more, but renewable energy will be one of the replacement of the traditional energy. Frankly speaking, at this moment, I don't have a chance to deal with how we want to use, my knowledge to the energy, renewable energy side in the AI is quite new to me. Mine more to the business model. If have a chance to deal with the energy, renewable energy side, I think I will happy to know how to use it. Of course, one of the way when I talk about the circular economic, another side will be more on the resources, resources use. So that will be help. So I think that maybe in the future, Prof. Alexander, we can work together and how you can cooperate, especially Asia and Russia, how we want to move forward about the AI and energy saving. This is one of the important topic and great topic to be explored to be.
Okay,
Thank you
very much. I can tell you, by the way, I can tell that we just finished future-related studies for AI for the government. So we might discuss maybe later something.
Yes, correct. I'd be happy to know that because
Okay.
because our Malaysia also is the oil producer. What we also rely on the petroleum. So we will try to be afraid because 2050 there will be no more petroleum in Malaysia. So how we want to survive without any petrol? Because EV car are not so well accepted in Malaysia. We very much prefer traditional resources. That's what we worry about. So I think that renewable energy will be one of the direction for all the country in the world. But how we want to move on is very much depends on the country policy at this moment.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lin. And our next speaker is Pavel Sorokin. He is HSC University Associate Professor and Head of the Laboratory for Human Capital and Education Research. His studies focus on agency in education and sociological studies of labor market and different levels of education. So Dr. Sorokin will talk about agency as a key component of human development. So please, the floor is yours, and you can share slides if you wish.
Yes, I will. Okay. Let it be like this. So I hope you see the...
Yes, it goes well.
So now it is the first slide. So now it's okay. So I will try to be concise and to fit in 10 minutes. This presentation continues the analysis which was initiated by the paper 5 years ago published in Foresight and STI Governance journal together with Yaroslav Kuzminov and Isaac Frumin. Yaroslav Kuzminov already gave his opening speech. One of the key ideas of the paper developed further in many publications and projects, both applied and fundamental, was that agency, which may be defined as the capability for proactive individual action towards structural environment, is an important component of human potential, especially in the new reality which was shaping at the time and nowadays seems even more true, that the structures are changing and agency is important for their survival. The problem is that now there is active search for new drivers of resilience and for growth, not only in Russia, but globally. I will focus on the challenges for, first of all, corporate sector, which is the core driver of economy still. And the problem is that the short-term increase in productivity is in demand together with long-term reinforcement of strategic business resilience. So companies have to, on the one hand, be effective in the long term, and on the other hand, not to lose their benefits in the short term. And how to do this is actually a problem. The problem is that the traditional approach to development of economy and to the development of corporations supposes that structures are working perfectly well, technologies are implemented gradually and providing impact more or less automatically, But the point is that technologies do not work if you do not have individuals who actually implement them and transform reality with these technologies. And if in previous times there was an idea that only selected bright individuals, corporate leaders or state leaders are carriers of this capacity for agency, like in theory of Schumpeter, and only in times of revolutions, in times of huge shocks, this capacity is relevant. Nowadays, we live in the new normality where actually changes have become permanent and radical increase in uncertainty. And this has a reflection both in the science. So in theories, we have huge increase in concepts dealing with the changes, with the ability of corporate leaders to proactively transform the company's environment, like human management theory, transformational leadership theory, ideas about distributed leadership, entrepreneurial behavior inside corporations, proactivity, personality, and its manifestation in the corporate context, and plenty of other concepts appear. On the other hand, we have expert discussions, and in Russia, for instance, there is a huge trend for so-called human-centric approach. And nowadays, in expert circles, there is a growing consensus that human-centric approach in management is not about humanism only, but more about effectiveness. And so the core idea is that humans are not only resources, but also assets and proactive assets that may transform corporate structures. So how does it work? Here it is illustrated. So the problem with academic reflection on the challenges for corporate life is that academics usually underestimate the principally new state of social evolution, which we call neo-structuration or destructuration. So the idea is that structures, for instance, in economy, but not only in economy, structures in every sphere of social life more and more depend upon individual action that transforms or proactively supports structures, but not only reproduces the structure. So this is the change. It means new approach to an employee, new approach to a corporation, a new vision of the world. So the world is requiring inclusion of individuals to proactively transforming and shaping the reality, not only to reproduce the already existing trends and so-called good practices. So now I will offer some view on what does it mean from the economic point of view. Theodor Schultz received Nobel Prize in 70s, arguing that entrepreneurial element of human capital may be responsible for at least third of increase in efficiency and productivity produced by human capital to the economic growth. He made his research on the case of American agricultural sector, and the picture was like this. So we have several skills. Each of them has some contribution to the total value of human capital, human potential. But if we try to approximate and assess the importance of this entrepreneurial element of human capital, if we talk economically, or agency, if we talk more, I would say, if we use language of current expert debates and more interdisciplinary language, it is agency. So the approach may be changed, because agency not only has its own contribution, but it also increases the utility of other skills. So actually, the idea of skills that are not working independently, but that are working together, is mainstream in current economic literature. And so based on this, we can expertly assess that nowadays, in the times of neo-structuration, when structures demand this agency, this entrepreneurship attitude and action from the individual upon them, the contribution of agency to efficiency may be not 33%, but maybe twice more. So how does it work in terms of structural development? Here is a brief illustration. So we have corporate management that actually sets goals requiring structural changes for the companies. This is really an important feature of current corporate life, that they strategically aim to change, not to reproduce, but to change. And employees are responsible for implementing these changes, and the corporate management providing opportunity for action. Then this action changes what is happening in the companies, and then the new level, the new step in structural development evolves further. What is important? Important is that there is a demand for agency and a supply of agency. And important is to understand that, of course, reproducing action is always in some kind of demand. So if we take people working in a factory or even a school teacher, to a large extent, the action he or she performs is reproducive, and it is okay. But the transformative action is also important, and it is related to agency. And the thing is that if we analyze what the company demands from the employees in forms of their transformative action, maybe not equal to what employees actually perform. And there is a kind of potential for agency that is not seen by the corporate management. So the approach is that we have to empirically analyze the demand and the supply of agency and try to fit them together so the strategic goals of company will be reached. How agency actually can work if we talk more in an applied manner. So here are four major arguments. Each of them is supported by literature and by actual logics of common sense and by empirical observations that we have in Russian business. So agentic employee is a factor that retains a person in a company. So if I have a project that I am transforming, then I will not leave the company, even if I will be offered more high salary somewhere else. I will also attract other people in my projects, thus making them more engaged in the company. Moreover, I can provide changes for structural development, which was illustrated above, and also which is also important, employees and their agentic capacity becomes important for working with clients, for keeping in pace with external changes, which may be not easily observable, even if we use big data. Still, a personal approach and view from the bottom is important. So despite considerable actions that nowadays company, even in Russia, undertake towards all of these four directions, there is no common approach, understanding that all of these four factors, four manifestations, are actually part of the single capacity for agency of an employee. What is the problem? So why does the management of the companies cannot effectively mobilize this capacity for agency? Well, first of all, because according to our review papers and empirical research that we do, so actually agency requires specific skills, specific motivation that is not automatically developed given the current state of the art in education and even in corporate education. Yaroslav Kuzminov said about it in the beginning. Also, there are some factors influencing the development of this capacity to be agentic, but these factors are not systematically analyzed and implemented. And there is no effective system for monitoring how employees change something, because by definition, monitoring the efficiency means monitoring the relation between what was planned and what was happened. But agency is about changing. So how can you assess the impact of change and the process of change? It's very important and difficult. Also, agency is an issue requiring special research and analysis because it is very context specific. Obviously, if you change the structures and structures are increasingly different, the factors and in the manifestations of agency will be different in different structures. So go to conclusion. We have 5 major theses. So first of all, so nowadays socioeconomic development have changed. We have destructuration or neostructuration, which I use as synonyms, with the same meaning that structures are increasingly dependent upon individual agency for their survival and adaptation to changing conditions. The second thesis is that employees' agency work at the same time as a factor in retaining them, as a way to attract new personnel. And nowadays, biggest Russian companies already have announced that the referral recruitment, when an employee invites his or her friends to the company or acquaintances, is an increasingly important factor for providing personnel for the corporations. So it is clear agency. When I attract my acquaintances to the company, thus in improving the structure, it's agency. Also, employee can provide impact on structural development of the corporation and driving force behind positive transformations in corporate relations with the outside environment, given changes in the clients' attitudes and all these shifts in the demand for the services and products that company produce. Also, if we try to assess the gain in productivity, sorry, I have problem with my monitor. Well, anyway, so maybe up to 66% increase in productivity, or at minimum 33% if we use the assessment by Theodor Schultz on entrepreneurial element of human capital. And the development of the evaluation tools is important. It is a frontier for theoretical and applied science both. And high dependence upon context is also an issue that should be dealt with mainly by empirical research. Otherwise, we cannot do it. So that is all. I hope I was in time. Thank you very much. We'll be thankful for any questions and comments.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sorokin. Now I open up floor for questions and comments to this presentation. So please, colleagues, you can raise your hand and just ask a question or make a comment. And I guess we can also have questions to all of the previous speakers at this point, as we're still expecting our last speaker, Dr. Anthony, to connect from China. So we could actually pose questions to Dr. Sorokin or any of the previous speakers that we have heard today. So please, this is your chance to ask questions that you wanted to ask but could not. Dr. Denny, are you still with us? Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. I actually wanted to ask you a question.
Yeah, please, ma'am.
This is related to the last presentation that was made by Dr. Sorokin. Do you specifically think about agency when developing entrepreneurial skills at the university? Do you study?
Sorry,
do you specifically focus on agency when developing the entrepreneurial skills at the university? Do you deal with it in your studies or in the practical exercises in developing the skills? Agency.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We have the connectivity with the agency. Only the government agencies only we are connected with that. Like Entrepreneurship Development Innovation Institute and then Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India. Like the two EDIs are in our India. One is located in our state. One is located in Ahmedabad. They are giving the guidance for how to conduct the programs, how to impact the students into the innovation and entrepreneurship ecosystems. And then apart from that, recently we have the connectivity with the Vadvani Foundation. So this foundation, given the course related to innovation, entrepreneurship and design thinking, they are conducting the training programs towards the students community as well as the faculty community. So through this, we are enhancing our innovation ecosystem in our campus. Like private agencies as well as the government agencies also, we are connected with that.
And in relation to the previous presentation by Dr. Lin, do you also pay attention to advancing the ICT skills of your students? Do you think artificial intelligence is a useful tool that may be applied by your graduates in their future work?
Yes, because our faculty, we have the computer science student and also engineering. They work very closely with those of the what I call our government agency, how to develop artificial intelligence in studying. But for the sustainability wise, it's quite new to them. Whereby due to the knowledge about the sustainability for the computer science and also the engineering students are quite lacking. This year, we have a startup elective module for them, ESG module that teach by me. Those who interested to know about the sustainability, they are welcome to study. So maybe another future, we would like to incorporate the artificial intelligence with the sustainability. That is my future plan for my university. At this moment, no, because of the quite lacking in Malaysia when referring to the sustainability awareness.
And then also a question to Dr. Danny and Dr. Lin. Do you somehow use future studies in education or in practice, or any of the methods of future studies to train the students?
Okay, for your information, sorry.
Yes, sir, please, sir, go ahead, sir, please.
Thank you. Sorry. For your information, okay, last year our university started a new program we call Impact Lab. Impact Lab actually, the whole university we have 10 Impact Lab. This 10 Impact Lab is tied with 17 SDG. So from there, it's exposed to the student about the sustainability. So this is a very, very good step for the university student how to use sustainability in the future. So whereby my second step is I want to incorporate AI learning. So that is what I call the future plan in my university that I would like to have in my university in the future.
Thank you very much. And Dr. Danny?
Here also we are planning with related to AI. And then we are for the training purpose also we are planning to integration with the AI, as well as we are motivating the students for the AI related products manufacturing also we are planning to do that. Because it's the current scenario, AI is very, very important role. So we are focusing on the training activities as well as the product development activities. So we are focusing on the AI.
And then a further question to you. When you focus on entrepreneurial skills, do you think that for companies, for businesses that they're developing, it is more in demand to have a more short time planning horizon? When I talk about future studies, specifically Foresight, this is preferably longer time horizon, up to 10, 20, 30 years ahead, and even more than that. What do you think that would be also required and requested by your students who are about to start working in their own companies, in their business? Do you think they have a shorter planning horizon or a longer planning horizon?
We are focusing on the short term and long term also, because some of the students, they have started their own ventures within the study duration also. But some of the students not able to start their own venture within the 5 years or 4 years. So after the completion of their UG degree, they can go and join the company. They are having the working experience. After that, they have start their own venture after the 5 years, because the money is very much important for creating the venture creation, because money as well as the product development idea. So without the two things, it is very difficult process to start their own venture. Current scenario, a lot of funding agencies are there for the students community. At the same time, they need the particular exposure, particular experience for developing the new ventures. So that's why some of the students are starting their own ventures after the 5 years or 10 years. At the same time, if we are given the mentorship to all the alumni students from our institution, because we have around 36 years old institution in our India. So we have supported a lot of alumni. After the graduations also, we are given the support how to start the business and then how to get the funds from the various agencies. So we are given the support for the all kind of alumni. At the same time, we are given the support for how they sustain their business. Because after the venture creation, they need to do the venture creation in a sustainability manner. Otherwise, it is difficult. They are going to close it. So that's why we are given the support how to sustain their business, how they get the revenue in proper way, how they set the big point. Like that, we are given the guidance to the students community as well as the faculty community also. This is the way we are given the inputs to the our stakeholders.
And with regard to school education, to which Dr. Kuzminov referred in his presentation, are you satisfied with how schools prepare children, or actually that later become your graduates? Are you quite satisfied with how schools perform in India in giving children these competences?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Currently, we have the Indian government. It is called as Atal Tinkering Lab. So from 9th standard onwards, they are given the inputs to the school students. From the early stage of prototype development, not a product development, they are given the scientific based small practices to the students community. They have developed the products like that also. Because yesterday also I have communicated with one of the school student in the Linga Global School. It is one of the partner school in our campus. It is established our institution. So the students have the wonderful idea about the innovation. Lot of innovation they have that. So we are already, my point of view, I have already mentored 5 Antal schools in our districts. So I have the close connectivity to the school students because we are conducting a lot of programs towards the school students also. Because current scenario, at the age of 7th, or sorry, in the age of from the 13 onwards, the students are having the good design thinking concept, I think so, because they have the study the science subject, and then they have the Atal labs in our schools, so that they are practicing the simple projects, and then we are given some kind of inputs. Definitely they can do the better prototypes as well as the better products also. So this is the ecosystem already created in India. We are also supporting in the supports also.
And how is the situation in Malaysia in this regard, Dr. Lim?
Yeah.
And the school education, are you satisfied with the competences that schools give for your graduates?
Okay, I think these are very quite tough questions. Very tough. Okay, at this moment, I think, of course, education in Malaysia are improving. Starting from the era of the colonial by the British until Malaysia independent. Of course, now we have our own Malaysian education system, but foresee due to the technology, so we are very much tagging along with the technology. Okay, so that's why I say that our university, Taylor UC, is very much learning based, working learning based, meaning that a part of the theory or concept from the books itself, we are very exposed, our students are very exposed to the work-based learning, meaning that we invite a lot of adjunct professor, a practitioner, expert come to our university to share their experience, to give a guidance, okay, how to develop all the project or how to make it happen. For instance, because in our faculty we have one center we call BSport. BSport, I think, is almost same like Dr. Denial. It's a startup, okay? Because I also involved in teaching this program because I did in startup. It's very much similar to the concept of what Dr. Daniel presented. Whereby a different thing is because we have secured a lot of seed grant or venture capitals to the student to start their business. So far, we have our center, our BSport center, just started 2 years ago, and we received a quite amazing support from the industrial and also from the government. So I can see that you asked me about the education in Malaysia is improving. Yes, there is. There's a long way to go to improve our education system. But I believe that our government are trying very best to align and to standardize the learning curriculum and also the pedagogy in order to meet or compete the world arena. So I hope this answer will give satisfies.
And this does, surely. Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Lin. And now I would like to welcome our last speaker, Dr. Marcus Anthony. He is Associate Professor of Foresight and Strategy and Beijing Institute of Technology in China. He's a futurist, a keynote speaker, personal consultant, and a writer. And he investigates deep futures, profound, meaningful, and sustainable visions of tomorrow. So, Marcus, are you with us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you well, and you can share slides if you wish.
Okay.
And
So
we
it's
can
been
see
quite-
your slides, yes.
Can you see them now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I apologize. I've had a very rushed day here in Zhuhai. We've had exams and classes, and I just rushed out of a class to get here. And it's the last week of semester, so very, very busy.
And
But
we
I hope I can
appreciate you being with us today, yes.
I hope I can do justice to this. It's a slightly different presentation from the one that I was going to present, more or less the same subject, but I just had to cut out the emphasis perhaps on the more practical. I did suggest in the abstract I was going to say a bit more about applications for management, but I probably won't say too much about that because I've kind of ran out of time basically to include that. But anyway, I trust that my talk won't be too abstract. It does touch upon things which are a little bit esoteric, I guess, but hopefully it won't be too philosophical for the likes of everybody watching today. Okay, so shall I begin?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Now, is it true that I have 30 minutes? How would you like me to do this?
Yes, you have more or less 30 minutes. That is true. Yes, and
Okay.
you can ask questions in the mid, and people can actually meanwhile put questions in chat.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So this is what we're going to do today. Very quickly, now I've given presentations here before at the round table, and I don't want to repeat myself too much, although some of you won't have heard anything that I've said before. But basically, I'm going to very quickly go over critical future studies and the very broad method I'm using, causal layered analysis. After that short introduction, I'm going to, let me just see if I can go back to the previous screen there, my topic. I guess I better mention my topic. Basically, it's mindfulness and what I call integrated intelligence. And it's in the application or the situation of the navigating complexity in the digital society. And I've been researching this topic for many years in various forms and practicing some of the skills such as mindfulness and what I call integrated intelligence. Really, since I was more than 30 years now. In fact, it might even be 40 years, I dare say. It's been a long time. So I first had a very practical application, and then I started to research it for my doctoral thesis. And I'll explain to you what these things mean in a moment. Okay, and then I'm going to, after I tell you what the topic, what the methodology is and the topic, as I've just more or less done, I will talk about the context or the focus of the problem and some possible solutions, which are going to be quite precise. And in fact, mindfulness and the integrated intelligence are the solution to the problem that I'm going to suggest. And then at the end, a little conclusion. So let's get right on with it. And for those who don't know me, I'm actually in China, and I'm an associate professor of foresight and strategy at the Beijing Institute of Technology here in Zhuhai. Zhuhai is right next to Hong Kong. I teach courses in future studies here, and I'm lucky enough to do that. When I came here 8 years ago, I was teaching English, which is what the dean wanted. But after a while, when that dean was fired, if I'm quite honest, the new dean came in and he allowed me to start teaching future studies, which is what I've been studying for 20 years anyway. And so I teach courses like artificial intelligence and the future of the mind, this sense making in the digital society, all these kind of courses. Okay, I'm a regular Foresight and future studies presenter at various conferences, and I'm actually doing a bit of work now for the HSE. And I don't know what I'd call myself, maybe Foresight consultant. Okay. This is Zhuhai, just in case you don't know where it is. You've probably never heard of it. It's a fairly small city near Hong Kong. In fact, the most famous thing perhaps is the bridge that goes to Hong Kong. In fact, some people might say that the best thing to come out of Zhuhai is the bridge to Hong Kong, but that would be a little bit cynical. Okay, it's actually quite a nice city, just a bit quiet. Okay, so my major argument today is going to be that we can expand by expanding our idea or concept of what constitutes intelligence. We might be able to navigate some of the broader problems that we're experiencing in the digital society: social, technological problems, psychological problems, environmental problems. These are all part of a broad dynamic that the world is experiencing. Some people might disagree on the causes, and no doubt they will. That's the nature of argumentation, the nature of philosophy and discourse. So I'm quite happy if people don't agree with me, and in fact, I'm sure a lot of people won't. But I believe that in understanding human cognition at a deeper level and our relationship to the body and the mind, we can navigate at least some of the problems that are emerging from the digital society in the present age. Of course, these things impact also the whole world of education, of management, and business. So it's not just that they're influencing us at a personal level. The entire structure of our civilization, I believe, is being impacted by some of the problems that I'm about to introduce. And complexity and confusion, well, they're certainly on the rise. I think most of us would agree. But the nature of today's conference was, did it introduce the idea, I'm just trying to remember the wording, something like a novel or unusual approaches to solving the problem. So that's why I'm doing the idea of integrated intelligence. Also, another person at HSE, whom I will not name, did encourage me to do it. And I think I won't mention that person, just in case my topic is a little bit too esoteric for your liking, and I don't want to get anyone else in trouble. And I shall take full responsibility for what is constituted in my presentation. Okay, so I first developed the idea of integrated intelligence. The first book I presented or published was in 2008. It was actually called Integrated Intelligence. It was based on my doctoral thesis, which I did through the University of the Sunshine Coast in Australia. And I will, in a moment, define integrated intelligence for you. For the moment, I'll just leave that as a little bit of a surprise. But I believe that by re-establishing this innate human intelligence, we can realign with a more fuller expression of human intelligence and life in general. Now, the digital society is quite demonstrably causing an increase in anxiety and depression and suicidality even, at least if we can draw upon the data that's come out of the correlation between time spent on screens and anxiety, depression, and suicidality. They are up in right across the Western world in particular, in China here also. Okay. So whether you want to say it's just because of the use of screens and technologies or social media and gaming, or it's because of the digital society in general, you could argue about those, but I'm going to just say that I think there's a problem in general with the way we're developing our societies and the increase in human anxiety and levels of happiness also appear to be going down somewhat according to some of the research and data that's coming in. So these are important problems. Okay, so I'm going to draw upon some evidence from, I'm going to bring in some mainstream science from brain science, neuroscience, especially the idea of synchronization of brains. Mindfulness, also, there's quite a bit of research in mindfulness and its potential benefits in mediating the kind of problems I'm talking about. Embodiment is a more abstract idea. That's the idea that we can connect more closely with the body, but that's related to mindfulness because mindfulness does connect us to the body. And I'm going to connect it just a little bit to the idea of distributed intelligence, which was or is put out by Bill McElvey and Max Boisseau, I think is his name. I'm not going to go too much into that, but it's linked into some other ideas related to human intuition and broader concepts of intelligence as well. So this does push the boundaries of what's beyond that, though, beyond what is mainstream science. It pushes the boundaries of what's accepted in mainstream science. So I'm going to bring in a little bit of information or argumentation from the history of some of the awakening or spiritual traditions in China and the Eastern world, and include that. Okay. So let me just move along here. Okay. So the focal problem, I'm just going to move past this one. It is related to a research project I've been doing for a few years. I'm going to implicitly use this concept of, well, coming out of critical future studies. Now, if you're not quite sure what critical future studies is, and because it's an aspect of future studies, and I guess Sohail in Atula, Jim Data in Hawaii, are probably the two biggest drivers of critical future studies. So it's not just about prediction, it's about deepening the way we think about the future and the kind of questions that we ask, and how influence and power and structures of society and the way we think impact the way that we structure the future. Causal layered analysis. Well, let me just go back to this screen. Okay, so basically there are 6 pillars of future studies according to Sohail in Atala. It's not just about anticipation, which is number 2 here on the list. A mapping is about situating the past, the present, and the future, which is an important part of thinking about the future. Timing, number 3, is really, we need to be quite precise about how we think about time and how things change over time. Deepening is about asking deeper questions, making sure that we don't just get stuck in the givens or the assumptions about what we believe to be true or real within the current context, because that wouldn't necessarily be deep human thinking. Creating alternatives is thinking about other ways of other kinds of futures that we might move towards, rather than just what we might expect, like to be more, more use of digital technology. Maybe we'll have the metaverse will come about, and so we'll just have more of the same, but only better, or maybe worse if you have a dystopian future. There may be alternatives which are quite unforeseen. So we need to keep our thinking open. Transforming is the world of strategy. How do we get from here, where we are now, to where we want to be once we've created these alternatives that we would like to posit or move towards? Okay, so causal layered analysis, some of you may know, Sohail in Atula, it's a layered way of looking at futures or looking at problems that may be emerging in the present or have come out of the past and moving into the future. So the surface level or the litany level is what people would normally talk about, or fairly superficial futures. We can introduce systems and social analysis, which most of us would do, I think, as futurists. So the surface level might be just something superficial that a government might put out, or an organization, because they don't really want you to think too much about their product or what it's doing to the environment. But most of us futurists would be thinking more deeply into the systems level. Now, once we move into the third level, worldview, we're thinking about how our own unexamined worldview and the paradigms, like the boundaries that our our fields and disciplines constrain us within, which we may not normally either think outside of, or we don't want to, or we're not allowed to think outside them. So cause-related analysis encourages us to try to push the boundaries out. And the metaphor or mind level, as I added, is making sure we understand the way that language and image impact the way we think, including stories. Okay, so let's move right along. So the context, and I'm going to do this quite quickly. Within the context of the digital society, the AI explosion is really the idea that, especially since around 2021, 22, with the metaverse concept that started to come out, that's kind of sunk away a bit, but that'll come back again, I believe. There's enough investment in it. I think it's a matter of time. But ChatGPT and the generative AI is really affecting human cognition, creativity, the information society. So the AI explosion really involves all these rapid onset of AI into society and learning, education, and business, and some of the problems that are emerging from that. Okay, so I'm not going to go too much into this one. I more or less went through this one before, so I might just skip this one. I just got a kid on this picture here because, as we know, that kids are growing up in the digital society today. Jonathan Haidt, who is, I think, from the University of, I forgot which university, might be Michigan. He's a moral psychologist. He looks at the way that a screen-mediated childhood actually damages the development of young people's brains. So it's very important that, especially young people who grow up with their brains being impacted by technologies, that they get enough time away from screens so that their brain is not negatively impacted by screen time. Of course, there are many debates about this. Some people may disagree with Jonathan Haidt. The point is that, like older people, like when I was introduced to the internet, I was really already well into my 30s, basically, or something like that. So my childhood brain development was not impacted so much by social media. But we do have this problem more for the younger generation. We need interactions, social interactions. We need to interact with nature. That means the outside world. We need to take risks as we move out into the world. And that's how we learn what boundaries are. We learn resilience through the mistakes that we make in interacting with other people in real world situations. That helps the brain develop an understanding, also the kind of boundaries we set with other people. So this is being impacted by social media as well, and AI in general. The collapse in sense making basically is that it's becoming harder and harder to agree with people about what's true and what's real. We've got a movement away from religion, which has been happening. It's been happening for hundreds of years, really. But in the modern age, it's fragmenting. Some people are going more back into religion, sometimes morphing into fundamentalism and extremism, or pseudo religions, which might be conspiracy theories, or even some social justice movements are becoming quasi-religious in nature. So this is another aspect of what's happening. So deepening futures is, I believe that our relationship to the future can be deepened by deepening our relationship with the human body. Okay, so I'm not going through my presentation as fast as I want, but this is probably pretty good because the rest of my presentation is a little into the unknown. Okay, so you're probably aware of the problems that I've mentioned so far, though we may disagree about what the precise causes are. Now, I'm going to focus on just this aspect of some possible solutions to these broader problems: integrated intelligence and embodiment. Okay, so embodied presence is the idea that it came out of my experience with mindfulness and practicing meditation and also healing work, working with groups of people who experience trauma, like being in groups where people were allowed to express deep emotions like anger or sadness, or allow their stories to come out about the past and to embody them. Let's give them a healthy expression. So this does have a relationship with the digital society, because as we mediate with screens, as I'm doing at the moment, it takes away from the capacity for us to connect with the body. So by repracticing mindfulness techniques, we can reconnect and notice what is moving through the body. So mindfulness and embodiment are deeply related. And you can find many of these in the wisdom traditions in various parts of the world. Okay, I'm not going to go too much into this one. Let's move along. Now, the intelligence matrix is an idea that I developed. And I think I spoke about this last year as well. So I'm just going to go up to a little map that I have here. Okay. And the intelligence matrix, I'm skipping around a bit here, but that's actually no. Okay. Let me just go back. I probably should have rearranged the order of the slide. Okay, before I tell you about the intelligence matrix, integrated intelligence is it's a wider employment of a fuller range of human cognitive abilities than we might consider normal in the current age, in the digital age especially, okay, because our way of processing information is deeply influenced by the kinds of technologies and structures and knowledge sources that we use. After the printing press was developed, I can't remember what year that was it the 1400s? Obviously that impacted the way people, at least educated people, a small amount of people initially, used their minds and brains. And then later on, when books became more widely used, we moved into the digital era. Suddenly, not only books, but computers, the way we're mediating with information is now not so much through books, but through screens and rapid onset of screens, and also being mediated by third parties, which are basically companies, big tech companies. So that's all impacting how we receive the information and how we respond to it. That's quite a complex problem in itself. But integrated intelligence is reestablishing a broader range of intelligence structures and ways of knowing, some of them which we don't use so much anymore. And especially intuitive intelligence, that which is connecting with the body and the human psyche and listening to what's in the body and then applying that to decision making. So intuition, what is actually intuition? Well, I divide it into two different classes. Classical intuition mostly comes from traditional religious and spiritual backgrounds, and it often includes spiritual ideas. It could even be relationship to nature, or even muses, as people write. So it could include spiritual guidance or relationships to God or gods. That's the classical intuition. And a mundane model of intuition is usually the more modern version, which usually avoids the more spiritual aspect of intuition and sees it as a brain-based function which mediates through the human body and maybe the unconscious mind as well. Now, I believe that both forms of intuition do have their validity, as I'll explain in a moment. So the intelligence matrix, this is all the range, or not all the range, it lists 6 sources of information that we might draw from now in the digital age relative to what our ancestors would have drawn from. So at the bottom of this model is the conscious mind, which most of us agree we use as we move through life, make decisions, and process information. www is the internet. So we're increasingly using the internet, and our minds are increasingly embedded in mobile technology, and that will probably only increase in nature as we become embedded with the internet. through Neuralink or whatever else we use in the future. The body is still important. We still use our body. We connect with information, even if we don't know we are. Our body and our feelings mediate our understanding of the world and how we deal with each other. The human psyche is basically the world of dreams and the unconscious mind. The embedded mind is it's basically the world of the synchronized mind, and it suggests that we are deeply connected to other people through our brain processes, even though we may not realize it. Our brains are constantly synchronizing with other people, as I'll explain. This is now mainstream science. The non-local mind is more the mind to do with the traditional spiritual ideas, which is the idea that the mind expands beyond the brain. It's more controversial. I believe it's valid, but let's move along. So basically, this is more or less what I went through. Mundane intuition is the normal standard scientific version of intuition. Classical is more the spiritual version of intuition. Okay. And I'm going to move beyond this one. And since I'm running out of time a little bit, okay. As usual, I'm kind of running out of time. Now, the embedded mind is related to mundane intuition. Now, these are all forms of intuition that are acknowledged in mainstream science. And so your brain is in synchronization with the world. Okay, I'm going to move on. So the embedded mind is synchronization. And I've just got a couple of examples here. Let me go back. So there's a lot of people studying this at the moment. We can work out that the brain's synchronized. That means like your brain waves tend to function or synchronize or show similar patterns to the people that you interact with, especially in real time and real space. So this is important for the idea of harmony or working with other people, because in online spaces, that effect is reduced. So the sense of connecting with people and the felt sense of connection doesn't function as well online, but it's very important in person-to-person interactions. When you walk with people, for example, when you talk with them, your voice will tend to synchronize in tone with other people, and your footsteps will tend to synchronize with them as well. So your neural rhythms will tend to synchronize. Pilots, for example, who are taking off or landing a plane together, their brains will tend to synchronize. And Tom Proess is one guide to studying this. Again, we're running a bit out of time here. I see how badly mistimed this. Let me just refer to this little experiment, which I found quite interesting. This is an experiment done by Antonio Damasio, actually. And it shows how the subconscious mind provides intuitions and helps us solve problems. And this is a gambling game, actually, where people got 4 decks of cards in a digital environment, and they were rewarded or punished, basically, by getting more money or less money in different card decks. And it's a bit hard to explain the entire game. I can see I probably should have set this out. So imagine you got 4 cards or 4 decks of cards, but some of them are loaded more positively or negatively than others. So after a while, you've been playing the game. You can stop the game and ask the players, how do you feel about the decks? And they may say, well, I don't know, they're all fine. But actually, if you hook a galvanic skin response electrode to measure the electrical resistance to their hands, their hands actually start registering stress when they touch or the card deck, which has a negative or less money, right? They lose money more often. So even though they may not be consciously aware that they're being punished, their bodies are already registering that different card decks have less money or are more punitive than others. So this is an interesting one of the card games which shows that your body registers information and intuitions even before you do. Okay. So if I'm correct, I'm almost out of time. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I've mistimed my talk here. So let me just finish. Give me 1 or 2 minutes and I'll finish up here. Okay. Now, the last thing I was going to mention was this part up there to do with the non-local mind, but I've kind of run out of time. So this is brain synchronization is the mainstream version. The non-local mind is mainly reported in traditional religious and spiritual experiences, but it's also as experimental evidence from mainly from parapsychology. And I can't go into the evidence base today, but it does involve core modalities. So these are really what you can do with intuition. Now, some people will argue these abilities that are intuitive come from traditional intuition, which may be expanding beyond the brain. And other people can explain at least part of them just coming from the body and the way our brains synchronize naturally with other people. So empathy, for example, can be explained through brain synchronization. Evaluation is the idea that we can intuitively understand the value of something or whether we're making a good choice or a bad choice just through our gut feeling. Recognition is understanding or recognizing somebody or something seemingly without having encountered it before. So this can be explained, again, in more than one way. Synthesis is drawing information together, how unconsciously your mind can bring things together. Diagnosis is coming to an understanding of the solutions to problems. Inspiration is the world of creativity. Lots of writers and artists, musicians draw inspiration. They often have very strong intuitive inspirations. Location, again, I've left this for near the end. Some people say that they think they know where they can find information. It could be in a virtual environment or in the real world, intuitively. So this is more controversial, but there are many people who believe they can do it. Now, foresense is the intuitive sense or feeling of understanding of something before it happens. Of course, futurists would really like to be able to harness this if it's doable. There's some experimental evidence that this is true, but many people disagree. The last one is transcendence, which is basically the idea that intuitive experiences can come down to some very hardcore sense of transcending yourself, especially in moments of bliss or even awakening spiritual feelings or going with the flow. So just to finish up here, so I was going to go through all these are just a bit more information about these things. So my argument is by reconnecting with all these kinds of intuitive intelligence, we can deepen our ways of knowing and the way we relate to the world and to other people. And the catch is that at least some of these have to occur offline. We can't just do them online. They're not incompatible with online worlds, but some of them need to be in connection with the body, and we therefore sometimes need to be with other people or just with the natural world in order to access them. Okay, well, I hope that kind of rushed presentation wasn't too rushed for you and at least made some sense. So thanks for listening. I've gone a bit over time.
Thanks a lot, Marcus. It seems you were talking of some kind of an improved human being of the future, but this is what you were saying was also applicable to us today. And it was especially new to see that we can not only foresee, but also foresense the future. This was a very novel information for me, at least. Do we have any questions from the audience, please? Yes, Alexander?
Yes. Hi, Marcos. Thank you
Hi.
for your presentation. My question is about you didn't attend the very beginning of our event, and it's been a discussion or posing question about the education in school for young people, and with the development of AI, we have both negative and positive effects for education. What do you think? How your theory or your approach might be used for education to make people more young people more adjusted to the world around them?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, of course, there's already a lot of mindfulness practice coming into educational structures, at least in theory, in many schools. Even in China, where I am, there are some schools or universities that have mindfulness centers. And many of, say, the churches or mosques or Buddhist centers within universities and schools have mindfulness. So mindfulness is definitely already coming into mainstream education in the West, and also in many schools, mostly in the tertiary sector, from what I can gather in China. I'm not sure about Russia and other places. So I think that's already well underway as far as the mindfulness aspect goes. Now, when it comes to using intuition within the mainstream context of learning, I'm not actually aware that it's being used specifically within mainstream secular education. Of course, you can find some of this in some more alternative schools like the Steiner schools and so on, which are kind of spiritually orientated. But I believe it could be introduced along with a mindfulness program, I think. And the key, I think, is just understanding its valid functions and its potential misuse. But the other possible source is, of course, through some like indigenous education programs or courses which delve into indigenous and alternative cultures, like in the humanities departments and so on. I think that's also a good potential source of using these kinds of ideas. I think many do use them lightly, or in some ways they encourage people to use them, but they're not really being used in the mainstream as much as I think or I would like. As for AI and this kind of thing, I think it's quite compatible with AI actually, because a lot of the functions of AI overlap with the functions of intuition. Like synthesis, you can ask an AI system like ChatGPT to help you synthesize information, or you can have an intuitive insight and then test it through using AI, which is what I do myself, which is something that scientists and people have always done with intuition anyway. They come up with an aha moment, and then they may go away and test it. And I think AI allows a more immediate response or ability to test ideas, at least privately. So I think it's actually quite compatible in an immediate sense with the AI if people want to use some of those cognitive functions that I mentioned, especially synthesis and diagnosis, like intuiting solutions to problems. You could then ask the system, is there any evidence that this is true? I just intuited that one way to solve this problem is, I don't know, whatever it is, and then put it into the system, and then you find out whether it's true or not. It's a bit like research that we do that way anyway, except you can do it more quickly through these AI systems. So the only caveat I see is that if you rely on the system too much before using your intuition, you may then lose intuition. So yeah, so I guess the short answer is I'd like to see more of it, and maybe there are programs out there that I don't know about, but that's my understanding at this point in time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. We actually have one more speaker with us who joined us a little bit late, but nonetheless has some exciting presentation to share. Dr. Mathilesh Sadia is the founder and CEO of MIT Square, a tech enterprise dedicated to leveraging cutting-edge technologies for crafting scalable, impactful products. His experience encompasses both theoretical and practical dimensions of education, engineering, healthcare, agriculture, and green sustainable solutions. And he will talk about new entrepreneurial competencies for navigating complexity. So Dr. Sadia Naranyan, please, the floor is yours, and you can share screen if you wish.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction. It's really a great pleasure for me to be here. I would like to, share my screen. Please give me a minute. I hope the screen is visible.
Yes, everything is okay. Please go ahead.
Fantastic, fantastic. So I would like to just quickly talk about how we can accelerate ideas into prototypes, because this is one thing where a lot of academic institutions, at least in developing countries like India and few other countries, they are trying to really move from ideas to prototypes. So they are having wonderful ideas, but the problem is they are not able to scale the ideas or scale the prototypes. They're not able to take that into a complete product. So now things are changing a bit over the last 2 years. But if any developing country or any institutions would like to work on good ideas and turn them into prototypes, I would recommend one of the models that I've been working on for last few years. I think even Dr. Denny, one of my scholars who just presented a couple of hours back, you would have explained a couple of models about the incubation center and so on. So India is largely investing in incubation centers. Our company is funding some of the institutions, funding some of the research projects. So we guide them how to turn ideas into prototypes. So let me quickly explain some of the areas of focus that we are currently working on. It could be education technology, we call it as edutech, agriculture technology, agrotech, health tech, green tech, space technologies as well, that's space tech. Of course, biotechnology. Lot of people are investing huge money in these sectors. It could be fashion technology, retail technology, fintech. This is getting bigger and bigger with cryptocurrencies, bitcoins, and so on. You can see a huge potential in the market. Of course, property technology. It gives you a wonderful platform how you can invest in real estates or buildings, properties, how you can get maximum returns in the next 5 years, 10 years. So we have wonderful platforms. Artificial intelligence can be introduced into these platforms. It can give you suggestions how you can invest, reinvest, how you can get back. But you need to really understand how new technologies can be introduced into different platforms to get the best use of it. Today, generative AI is doing that. So I'm just giving you a broad perspective, what all areas that we are working on. So property technology, insurance technology, today that has become another scary part because people are not able to rely on different sectors, healthcare sector. So people would like to have insurance in health or life insurance, healthcare insurances, dental insurance. There are different things. UK is literally struggling because people have no clue about the insurances. They relied on government systems. It's falling, it's failing badly. So private companies are coming in. They're coming up with a lot of insurance policies. So again, it's a big market to capture. So insurance technology, wealth technology, people have started earning, they have started saving, but they do not know how to maximize the wealth, how to make it 5 times, 10 times. So again, these kind of new technologies with AI will be able to give a lot of indications what will be the inflation and how people can save and have maximum returns in next 10 years, 20 years, or maybe after their retirement. So that is wealth technology. Regulation technologies, legal technology, legal tech, mad tech. This is very interesting. Mad tech is getting bigger as well. It's called marketing and advertising technologies. So if you want to reach out to a particular target, let's say that we have a product in India and we want to reach out to Moscow, for example. So it's easy these days. You can just have filters in Facebook, Insta, and different kind of platforms. It can reach exact target audience. That is mad tech. So today that's even more powerful. The last but not the least is femtech. This is dedicated for women, to empower women if they want to have products on their own, if they want to fuel the industries with their power, then they can build on these products. It's completely on women technology. Today it's called as femtech. So doing research on these things are also quite exciting. So these are the areas of focus. I have come up with a new model called RIPE, Rise and Ride. So it's quite interesting, right? So I'm sure you'll be excited to know about it. So this term is being coined by me for building sustainable and reliable products. It could be not only for your country, it could be for a global level. So this is the expansion of RIPE, Rise and Ride. It's very simple. You have an idea, you discuss the ideas with your client or potential customers, you try to capture the nuances, you try to do a research on it, you try to understand the ethics and compliance side of it, add some new technologies, come up with innovative techniques, do some risk analysis, design it and evaluate it. You have a prototype in hand. That's it, as simple as that. So it's called RIPE, Rise and Ride. This is the expansion. I'll be explaining each of the thing in a very crisp way. I'll not take much of your time for sure. So let's talk about the requirement analysis. The biggest pitfall of any product is just people not capturing the requirement exactly what it's supposed to be. So they have a fair understanding of the system, they have a fair understanding of technologies, they just start getting into the development. That's absolutely wrong. That's not the way to do it. People need to first capture the requirements of a client or potential customers, do a small study, do some target analysis, try to capture the requirements, what user requires. It could be color, design, it could be features. Try to get all those things listed down. Do a deep market research. Ask the people again and again, get the feedback. So that's the first bit, requirement analysis. Then refine the ideas. Not every feature the person requires can be implemented in the first stage. For example, iPhone 1, and today we have 15, 16, 18, it's going on. Not every feature we included in iPhone 1. You can always start building on top of it. So let's say that you refine it to 5 features. In the next version, you can start building next 2 or 3 features. This is a proper economic kind of a modeling system where you don't rush to do all the features to attract the potential customers. You can still attract people with minimum viable product. We call it as MVP. Just have 2-3 features, attract the customers, then start rolling it out on a versions. Version 1, version 2, version 3. So that's how you refine the ideas and rolling it to the market. Of course, you need to do feasibility assessment, work with multidisciplinary team. It could be from economic side, multidisciplinary teams, a technical team, legal and compliance. You need to work with different people together. That's how you build a good product. This is even more interesting. You need to conceptualize the product. Just having ideas, just having requirements from the customer alone is not everything. You need to have user story. You need to have use cases. You need to make sure you have the compelling kind of a story. Just telling them, oh, this is a product, let's, you can have it, and this can be used for 2 years or 10 years. No, that's not the way. You need to convey a story. You need to say how this product is useful in the agriculture side. It could be smart technologies, how it can help the farmers, how it can improve the productivity. We need to have those kind of use stories and use cases. And when we build a product, you need to always empathize. You need to have social responsibility. You need to make sure it is 100% safe. It doesn't harm people in any way. It could be from technology side, it could be from a legal side, it could be accessing the data, it could be anything for that matter. We need to make sure we are responsible when we are building some products. So we empathize and have social responsibility. That's something that's important. We need to have this empathy and social responsibility in the loop in the complete product development stage. This is, I'm very sure every institution, professors and students, they all work on research. You do some good literature study, background studies, and today SWOT analysis is changed as SWOT analysis. Today we don't use the term as threats, we call it as challenges. SWOT is nothing but understanding the strength, weaknesses, opportunities and challenges when you're building a product, or it could be even doing some research. So we do this kind of a SWOT analysis. Once you understand the strengths and weakness, opportunities and challenges, it's easy to target the audience or target the customers. So whom you're going to target. Then the other side of it is doing a bit more deep analysis from the technology side. Just because you have AI, artificial intelligence, doesn't mean you can dive into it. It's not necessary that every product has to have artificial intelligence, not required at all. There are some solutions or products which needs a lot of human intervention. Not everything can be automated. There are few products which I don't want to name it due to confidentiality. So these products doesn't even require AI. We need human connect. We need people to talk to discuss some of the issues in that particular product. Not every AI can give you, it can't troubleshoot everything. So that's a sad part where people believe everything AI can do it. No, you need human intervention. You need people to discuss about few problems. You need people to talk about the troubleshooting techniques and methods. So please do a deep analysis. If required, then go for the new technologies. Otherwise, stick to the traditional methods. And it's similar with financial analysis. Come up with the proper planning when you want to take the project to the market. So if you don't have a clear plan, you might lose huge investment. You can lose money. It could be even for research funding. When you write research proposals, please do a proper budgeting considering the scalability of the project. So when you have a good financial plan, then it's easy to attract funding. So I've been attracting good funding from US, UK, and Europe, of course, and Asian countries. The reason is very simple. We keep it very clear. We make sure it is huge return on investment, ROI. So when someone invests in a project, make sure that they get good returns. So you need to have a very strong financial plan. And of course, other things are operational analysis, try to design a good project area, lab, have good people around to work with, identify the right talents, skill set, then coming up with a proper detailed design analysis and a marketing plan. These are all the research things that we need to do when taking the project to the next level. And we need to stay in current touch with all the technologies and the consumer needs. Always keep in current scenarios in mind. Think what the product is going to look like in the next 10 years or 20 years. If you think only from next 2-3 years, your product can die. Again, there are a lot of products like Nokia, for example, from Finland. They were not able to scale their products to a greater time. The reason is they were thinking only the button kind of a mobile phones will be used by a larger population around the globe. That was a wrong strategy. So whereas Samsung and other companies, they just boomed the market because they started thinking from next 20 years, 10 years. That's one of the thing. The secret to success for any product is just to think at least for 10 years to 20 years, 2 decades, at least 1 decade. So this is a formula that we all need to think about. And of course, managing innovation is not easy. You need to understand people, sentiments, emotions, understand how you can constantly keep improving the product, what new features to include, and we need to be in current scenario and market. Today, we can see from United Nations, they propose Sustainable Development Goals, SDG. So we need to make sure our product is sustainable. We need to try to reuse as many materials as possible. Rather, you invest huge money into a different material which is not sustainable and eco-friendly. It's not going to help you in the long run. If you're going to reuse some of the existing materials to build a product, that means you're saving huge money. You're going to recycle it as many times. You're going to save huge money. People who are using sustainable materials to build product can save average of 33%, 1/3. I can guarantee you on that. Our company has been doing that on a regular basis. We are able to save average at least 35 to 40% easily because you're investing only on the eco-friendly materials, which can be reused as many times as possible. So you sell it back to the recycle factory. They are going to give you some return money. You reinvest. So you do it, repeat the same cycle, which means you're saving quite a lot on eco-friendly materials. Similarly, you can do technical feasibility analysis, what technology to be used, how to get into the market with new technologies, or whether to get adapted to traditional technologies. These kind of decision makings can be done in this stage. So doing a technical feasibility, market feasibility, and financial feasibility is very important. This is one of the things that many companies forget, especially the startups, and this needs to be considered as well, ethics and compliance. It could be handling the data. It could be handling the sensitive information. It could be filing patents or publications. People need to protect their ideas. You can't just throw it in the wild just because there are a lot of open forums. You need to make sure first it's being protected, take consent from other inventors and authors or who are part of your team, make sure you file a patent, then you can present these kind of works to other people. So these are very important when you come up with an innovative product. And of course, you need to consider safety standards and other considerations from ethical and etiquette side. There are many companies where they forget to do risk analysis. They invest huge money in products and prototyping. Unfortunately, they don't have plan B and plan C that can put the company in big risk. So whether you're doing a research or whether you're building a product, always have risk analysis strategies, risk analysis plan. This will help in long run. It could be from technical side, it could be from financial side, it could be from the market side. Potential customers, what if they don't like the product? Then what is the plan B? So what if you exhaust your funds? Then what is the plan B? There are some complications with artificial intelligence. Then what's the plan B? Always have plan A, plan B, and plan C. This really helps mitigate a lot of different circumstances. As we heard from Marcus about intelligence and integrated intelligence, yes, these are something really important. This is going to bring in a big number of people into a product. It can attract customers as well. But as I rightly mentioned, not every product needs intelligence. It just needs normal traditional methods or normal traditional techniques. So it's very important to analyze and use those technologies, whether you want to automate it or whether you want human in the loop. When you have human in the loop, you have even more better performance because people love to interact with human, not with machines. So here we go. Then this is, I'm sure all researchers would be really fascinated about. I'm sure you're all part of it in doing designing and prototyping. I'm sure from economic side or even from multidisciplinary teams, you all love this kind of things. When you build a product, you need to have 3 levels. We call it as low fidelity prototype, medium fidelity prototype, and high fidelity prototype. At low level fidelity, you can just do a lot of sketchings and whatever your thoughts, you can just put it in paper. That is called low fidelity prototypes. In medium fidelity, you start working on static prototypes. It could be a small product or it could be a web product, a small artificial intelligence or using a web. You can just use ChatGPT and integrate in some software. All these are, bit of medium fidelity prototypes. So you try to understand the pulse of the people. When we see high fidelity, you have almost a mimic of a product. So you can give it to the customers, you can take some feedback, understand their sentiments, emotions, how they love about the product. You can do quantitative analysis, qualitative analysis, and then you can reiterate the product development and push it into the market. So that is high fidelity prototype. So if you do this kind of a staging, you will be in a very safe zone. You will not be investing too much of funds when you build a product, or even you'll not be burning out a lot of research. For example, if you have a researcher working on a particular research project, you'll be able to guide them in a systematic way, how you can fast track the process, rather someone starts implementing something and it goes for a toss and redoing the whole thing again, which is waste of time, money, everything. So having this kind of a structured process helps. That's about designing and prototyping. And whatever work we do, it's very important to have evaluation and testing. Without this, the product is useless because you really don't understand what the customer requires, what people require, whether people will be happy to use for a longer period of time, which means doing this kind of a functional testing the prototype manually and automatic, or it could be giving for evaluation, ask people to evaluate your product, evaluate them. It could be quantitative or qualitative. Getting this kind of feedback will help to strengthen your product. You will understand the pulse of the people. You'll be able to deliver the best for the years to come. So that's about evaluation and testing. So I expanded rise and ride model, which will really help researchers or even the product developers. Now, what is the significance of this? So you'll be able to turn some of the good ideas into tangible prototypes or products. You will build a strong platform to build products and launch it in the market. And of course, you will have good investors investing in the project because you have a very lean and structured process to be followed. You can demonstrate this is how we have done, understood the people requirements. You are able to do a proper research, design, and then develop then evaluated. So you have a nice structure, right? So investors will be happy to invest. This saves a lot of time, money, and resources. Okay, so recap. So I expanded on rise and ride. So you start with requirement analysis, you refine your ideas as many times as possible, conceptualize your product, try to have empathy when you build products or when you go through the whole process, do deep research and planning, come up with innovative features, make sure that it's sustainable, and address ethics and compliance. This is very important. Do the risk analysis, have intelligence to your product. It could be human intelligence, integrated intelligence, or it could be artificial intelligence with generative AI. Okay, or then go for designing and prototyping, have a nice structure. So you start with the paperwork, then get into the real system, evaluate it, test it, then launch it in the market. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity. I'm really thankful. I'm very happy to collaborate with a lot of students and professors. If you really would like to have research funding from our company or fellowships, scholarships, or internships, please do reach out to me. You can have a screenshot of this. I'll be very happy to collaborate on. It could be even reviewing articles. I'll be very happy, which I've been doing it for ages now. So thank you. Great.
Thank you very much, Dr. Satya Narayan. With this, we conclude our roundtable. Today, we have talked about navigating complexity to cope with the rapid change dynamics and a set of challenges that we have faced by developing advanced perception competencies such as intuition to foresense the future, by acquiring new skills such as digital skills, by developing new, for example, entrepreneurial competencies, and by using new business approaches. So thank you very much, everybody, for being with us today. We will be very happy to see you at our future events and then to communicate with you bilaterally after this roundtable. Thank you very much and have a great day.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, everybody.